It's the idiot check, it's the idiot check. Have we accounted for all those idiots yet? It's the idiot check, it's the idiot check. Oh yeah, we're all here.
We're in, here we are. Number 2. Is this 2.1 really, isn't it?
Yes.
We tried yesterday and it didn't work.
We were all tired. We'd all had a traumatic... Tom hadn't. I had a traumatic evening.
Tom had no excuse.
I was
really?
telling all the stories. I was talking like...
Yeah, you were trying actually.
I'm not going to lie,
trying.
you were on fire and we dragged the whole...
Me and
the
Paul
whole
were
thing
just
down.
not... We were not licking up the... We were not, biting at the teat.
It's like talking to a couple of bedposts over the internet.
You guys ever... Have you ever browsed Reddit?
I have a few times, yeah.
Have you?
Yeah, a little bit.
I've never browsed it before. Just sitting here browsing it.
What are you browsing
Go
though?
on.
What topic are you browsing?
Well, I just looked at the hot topics, and then I've just delved in. You know how it is. You sort of get in there, don't you? There's one which is quite funny. It's like shower thoughts. Have you come across that one?
No.
It's just people just saying stuff, basically. So I guess it's a bit like if everyone was a little bit witty on Twitter, that would be just like, just one sentence
Twitty.
things. Twitty. Nice. Just people going like their little theories. Like, here's one, the top one. If Voldemort really wanted to kill Harry Potter on the night that the spell didn't work, you could have just picked him up and thrown him out the window.
That's good. It's true as well.
Which is a fair point.
He saved himself a lot of hassle.
Or just like stamped on his face. I thought he was a baby.
Yeah, he had to
Why
use
didn't he
his
do that?
wand.
Put your wand down. Some people have commented that like physical violence is beneath him.
He abhors physical violence. He's not all bad.
Here's another one. Taylor Swift doesn't think Spotify pays enough, so none of her music is on the service. As a result, I downloaded it illegally for free and listened to it on the Spotify app. I'm still listening to it on Spotify, and she's making nothing. So,
That's a lot of effort to go to.
Just to spite someone.
yeah, but 1,645 people have voted it as a good comment, so that'll show her.
They can't be wrong.
It must be then.
Here's another one. The Dalai Lama is so at peace and relaxed because he doesn't have to worry about rent, a depressing job, family, drama, where his next meal's coming from, and many other day-to-day worries which affect the majority of people on the planet. Yeah. Take that, Dalai.
Yeah, he's got it easy, mate. Does the Pope have to worry about rent?
I think he's got loads of money.
Yeah, but does he have to
really?
pay rent? Who's his landlord? God.
God.
Yeah.
The Lord, the landlord, our God.
Lord of all. Bicycles are acoustic motorcycles.
Oh dear.
I just spent the last 10 minutes watching a video about how Jar Jar Binks is like a Sith Lord, like a theory. Yeah,
What? Because he
and I feel like, well, it's obviously humorous, but it just shows all these clips.
I can see it's tickled you.
Yeah, well, I was more just angry that it was 8 minutes long, and I watched the whole thing. And I was like, that's just rubbish. That's just I think the more thing that annoyed me was that I hadn't thought of Jar Jar Binks for many years, and I'd forgotten how
You tried to block him out.
irritating. Yeah.
Well, he's an important part of the legacy.
Well, that's what this thing is saying, that he's actually the Sith Lord. He's actually like the master of all, and it only didn't happen. It only didn't get revealed because George Lucas pansied out because he feared that backlash of the Star Wars community.
I think that would be great. I like the idea of Star Wars nerds being incredibly annoyed by it a little bit. There's a definite sense of entitlement with the previous ones. Do you fuck with our Star Wars a bit? Jar Jar Binks as a Sith Lord. come on. That would vindicate the Phantom Menace.
Yeah, I don't know if it would.
Did you have you seen a video or read anything about the that other theory you were telling me about Luke Skywalker?
Oh, being a Jedi, being also a Sith in
Yes.
in Return of the Jedi. No, that was just nonsense.
No, in the new one. Is that not what you were talking about?
Oh well, there's different theories, but there was a theory that went round. Well, someone posted it anyway, which doesn't make it a theory, really, does it?
Well, it makes it a theory, but it's just whether it's founded or not.
Yeah. But actually, he was already a Sith in Return of the Jedi because he was like wearing black and stuff. That's like the reason.
Was he not wearing black in Empire Strikes Back as well?
No, because he goes all kind of moody in Return of the Jedi, and no other Jedi is seen wearing black. Apart from Anakin in the early one, he wears a bit of black. I'm reading these things. I'm seeing these headlines of like Mark Hamill like giving away things, and I'm like, oh fuck's sake, delete that.
Keep your mouth shut, mate. I know you're excited about being in the first film in 25 years, but keep it under your.
He has not aged well.
No, he hasn't.
Harrison sort of looks kind of pretty much the same, but just a bit wrinkly.
Yeah, he's a sexy older man.
And Mark Hamill just looks horrendous. No wonder he's not in the trailer.
Or on the poster.
That's the reason. That's the real reason.
What was it? There was something I saw the other day about he was in a really bad accident, messed up his face after the first film. And in the second film, he's got a big old bent nose. I didn't notice at the time, but now looking at it, you look at the picture of him from the first film, and then the second is like, oh yeah, his nose is flat against his face,
and his face sort of looks a bit sort of thicker and puffier. Yeah, because they've obviously had to kind of reconstruct the face.
I just assumed that was like the stress of being a Jedi. Going from being a farmer to suddenly fighting the galaxy in that.
Makes your face go puffy.
Yeah, his face went well puffy.
He's allergic to the dark side.
Why has he only ever done voiced cartoons and parodied himself since then?
Good question. Ask him, mate. The right thing hasn't come along.
He didn't have the charisma. He didn't have the charisma that Ford had.
Who knows? I mean, what happened to
Macaulay Culkin?
Yeah, Colkster.
Yeah,
I went to see them. I saw his band play at. He was playing at Rock City Pizza. What was it? Pizza Underground.
Yeah.
Oh,
was it really bad?
It was brilliant. I'm glad I watched it. Well, I mean, they got booed off after about 2 minutes. Someone lobbed a pint at him. Really? Because they basically come on, and it's I think there's about 5 of them or 6 of them. And they have one guy's playing the guitar, and a girl's hitting a pizza box, and they're just singing really bad cover versions of songs and changing the words to pizza themed things.
Is it just
they do
Velvet Underground songs, or is it all sorts of?
No. Because they did These Days. That I can't think of any others. These Days, that Jackson Browne song that Nico did. Changed it to Cheese Days, just things like that. And they're all singing at the same time, not harmony. You know how awful that sounds, when 5 people are just singing the same tune. And the best part of it was that I was stood next to the promoter. So basically, it's his festival, and he was just shaking his head, going, "Just think of all the bands I could have put on here." So it was packed out in the biggest venue in the festival. I asked him how much they went for. I think it was said about $5 or $7 grand or something.
What?
I can't remember what it was.
To go on for 2 minutes and just hit a pizza box?
They weren't supposed to go on for 2 minutes.
Yeah, I think that's happened a lot. I think that's happened a lot.
Yeah, it happened every time.
I think they bank on it. So what? 2 minutes work? $7 grand? Thank you.
No, it was probably about 10 to 15 minutes, I'd say. But still,
that is easy.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
I'm actually reading a book at the moment by John Ronson called "So You've Been Publicly Shamed." You heard about that?
Yeah.
And one of the stories is about a woman who decided to think she had many followers, maybe 200 or something, not many at all, but she decided that she's a bit of a funny person, and she on her way to the airport tweets that off to South Africa, hope I don't get AIDS, only joking, I'm white. And she thought it was quite funny, didn't think anything else of it, went to sleep on the plane. The 11 hours that it took to get there, in that time it had blown up all over the internet. She'd lost her job. She got there and her life had been absolutely trounced, all because of a stupid joke. So
ever since I heard that story, I have really overanalyzed anything that I've written on any social network.
Yeah, I find myself doing that as well.
Like anything. It's
crippling
in a way.
It's a bit of a bad joke, though, isn't it?
It's a terrible joke. I don't think that any of us would ever say something that misguided.
But it was, as John Ronson mentions, it's mocking privilege. So it's just you have to kind of assume that everyone knows what angle you're coming from, but there's no emoticon for that.
She wasn't. She just didn't have a chance to explain herself either. That's the other thing.
No.
She was on plane.
When I'm writing about how much I love rapping, I'm gonna make sure I put both P's in that text.
That's wise.
Yes, please. Good tip, everyone. Good tip. I'm in a band. This is my band. Like us on Facebook, please. The fan thing's different because the worst one. I've never been that rude. I'm just a bit awkward, and I did it. The worst one was on the London Underground. It's only happened once, but I was just completely in my own head. You know, when you're just travelling around, I think I had earphones in and stuff, probably podding, and so I'm just completely glazed because I'm not expecting to see anyone. It's the same thing as how we met, Paul. I just don't do well with uninvited guests into my life certain times, and I was just sat down, and then this girl came on with her mum, I assume, and was just like, I sort of got in my face a bit, and I had to take my headphones out, and she was like, can I get a picture? I'm a big fan.
Shit.
It's like, yeah, yeah, sure, yeah. Took a photo, and then I had to sit next to them.
Oh no! What for the? How long did you have to do that for?
Well, it felt like forever because we weren't talking.
Oh no!
Good, nothing to say.
I'd feel compelled to sort of like chat it out, if you know what I memean. Oh.
And then everyone else on the tube was just staring at me for the rest of the fucking time.
And who is that guy?
Who the fuck is that? Who does he think he is?
Because he sounds like Mo Farah.
Is that Mo Farah's brother?
You get a message to Mo for me.
And then I got off, and I had to sort of do a sort of turn around and go, yep, see ya. It was horrendous, and I did feel especially like I was especially cold on that because I felt so awkward, didn't know what to do. It's like I'd just been woken up, like someone had literally just shaken me from my sleep and then gone like, be nice to me. Obviously they weren't. They were just being nice and expressing, appreciation for my art. Thanks very much. God bless.
Then you just shuffle down the carriages.
See ya. Yeah, and
I shuffle down a few seats, just still in sight.
Grab a newspaper and pretend to read it.
Pretend to be asleep instantly. That's what I do.
Hello? I hate you.
Who put I had a weird dream in the topic?
So I mean, I had it a couple of days ago. It stuck with me. But basically, I was because you were in the dream. This is why I decided to mention it, Luke. You were in the dream. So I was on tour, right? With Neil Pirry, our tour manager, stroke sound guy, stroke father figure. And he decided that he was going to... I turned up at the venue or got out of the van, and he basically had started unravelling. Somehow he'd managed to unravel all of my drums. So all the drums, he'd taken them out of their cases. He'd taken the wood out somehow, and it was just all in big sheets. And he was laughing about it, about liking how he was doing it just to stitch me up. And I was absolutely furious in the dream. And he to my mind at the time, he was wasted, drunk. So, I was throwing punches at him. I was lobbing spanners at him. We were having a full-on. I was absolutely furious, full-on punch-up. He then decided he used one of the spanners to smash this kind of pipe nearby that sprayed petrol all over me, right? So I was covered in petrol. He did this on purpose, right? And I was worried that he was going to set me on fire. So I quickly ran and got a hose and just poured this water all over me just so it would wash off the petrol so I wasn't flammable. And then I went up. Somehow I was in a room and I went up and sat in the corner and cried, right? And then Lely sort of came into the room, and I'd calmed down by this point, and he said, "Are you all right?" And I said, "Not really." And he said, "Well, I've done something a bit special." And then he pulled back the curtain, and it was all a big ruse, a surprise party for me. And he said, "You know that Luke sital-singh song you like? He's here." And he pulled back the curtain, and you were playing a song, right? Can't remember what it was. And there was it was a huge party that he'd organised for me, right? Russell Crowe was there at the bar. Don't know why. There was a few other. I remember there was a few other famous people there, but I can't remember anyone specifically. Apparently, yeah. So the whole messing up my drums thing was all a big ploy to get me angry for some reason, so I wouldn't suspect this party. And at the end, I said, "Oh, so this was all just a joke." And he's like, "Yep." He's like, "So you didn't really mess up my drums?" Like, "Oh yeah, they're ruined." But look at your party. So that was my dream.
That's incredible.
You're a celebrated dream analyzer, aren't you, Paul?
What's that?
Yeah.
You're a celebrated dream psychologist. You know what dreams mean.
What does that dream say about me, Paul?
Hang on, let me check. It says, you're too romantically involved with your drums,
Right.
and you should start loving your wife a bit more.
Right. Yeah.
Because I also think Nelly maybe is your real father.
Ah. So where does Luke factor in on this? Why was he in there?
Why was Luke in there? Because he represents
just a fan, right?
hope
Probably just a
and
big fan.
inspiration for you.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm obviously a big fan without realizing.
Well, no.
Subconscious. I wonder how many subconscious Luke sital-singh fans there are.
Everybody disco. Everybody disco. Oh.
There's one dream I'll always remember, and that is I've only had it once, but I think I've told people about it the most because it's the weirdest. It's slightly explicit. Is that okay?
Ooh, go on.
I'll soften it. I'll soften the blow slightly.
No, that's all right. We can bleep it, right?
Okay.
We've got bleep.
So my dream was I was in this warehouse, tied to a chair, naked, right?
Oh, we've all had
Gosh.
that dream.
I like where this is going.
Right, and there's a very sexy woman, also naked,
A woman.
in front of me, right? And she's doing a sexy dance, right? Trying to get me aroused, so that she can chop me off with that.
Oh.
Okay, right. So she's doing all this to try and arouse me, so that she can get a clean cut, right?
How do you know that?
I don't know. That's just you just know that in the dream.
Oh, it's a dream,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, okay. You've been briefed. You've been briefed
I
beforehand.
guess so. You just know it And so what I had to do was in my mind, I had to think of something that's not sexy to avoid becoming aroused, right?
Right.
And what I thought of was Liam Gallagher on a pair of roller boots going round and round the circle on the spot.
Okay.
And that was the that's it.
I don't know what to say really. Is that the most?
Yeah, that's odd.
Is that the most?
Well, what does that
unsexy
mean,
thing?
Paul?
What does it mean? Sorry. No, you carry on. I'll think about it.
That's at the time. That was what I thought was the most unsexy thing, or I guess you're trying to think of something that distracts you, I guess, or funny. That's what I thought of. I can't explain it because it's a dream. It just happened. I have no control.
Stop listening to Wonderwall.
Oh, really? This is interesting and amusing. Idiot check.
I very rarely remember any of my dreams, but I.
Well, your dreams can mainly consider you jumping out of bed and going, "They're coming! They're coming!"
This is true.
Why did this happen on tour?
I think it has similar things have happened on tour where I've. Well, I kind of don't necessarily remember my dreams, but I have what I can only describe as night terrors. All right. So I've got a problem where during sleep my mind aggravates itself, and firstly I sweat profusely, like insane amounts when I'm asleep, because as a result of this weird kind of nocturnal anxiety, and I just get reports every other morning, I'd say roughly, from Holly that I kind of got up and started shouting things. Usually we're under attack. There was one where I was sort of I'd sat up in bed and I was trying to pull the light fitting out.
Really?
Where I'd sort of got up, yeah, and it used to be a big problem with like windows in any hotel room or in my house, where I'd sort of just be I'd be transfixed by something by the window, and I'd go up to see it, and it wouldn't be gone. And it was that really frustrating thing where I'd be getting up, and I'd slowly be coming to, and I'd be slowly waking up, and Holly'd be going, "What are you doing? Oh, sit down, just go to sleep, stop it, what are you doing?" And I'd be frustrated because I was trying to get to the bottom of why I'd got up, because I couldn't really remember. And it was like I never let the whole thought process go through, and obviously it was just nonsense. There was nothing. I wasn't really shooting for anything, but I'd never be able to find out. And that's the most frustrating thing.
Maybe you are actually under attack because, well, I know for a fact that when we were on tour together, when we toured with your band, Cold Crow's Dead, like a couple of years ago, I was sharing a room with the guitarist we had for that tour, Matthew Walker, if you remember this.
Yeah.
I was lying in bed. I was sleeping on a bed. He was sleeping on a fold-out next to me in an attic. And it was 5 a.m. He was asleep. I was just about to go to sleep and watching my iPad. So I had it in my hand. And he sort of stirs a bit. And and then says, "It's what you deserve, Steel." So, I mean, he has, you
great.
are feeling like you're in danger in your subconscious in your sleep, and he is actively after you in
Well, I
his
guess it
sleep.
would-
So,
He could be getting attacked by Walker. I mean, maybe you need to sort of dream. Maybe you should both do one of those dream. Go to one of those dream clinics, sleep clinics, or whatever, where you just go in a room and you go to sleep and they like watch you.
if you
can both
if you were
do
both hooked up to that thing like an Inception, you could hash it out in the dream.
Well, I do remember spending the rest of the tour thinking, like, what do I deserve?
I mean, it could have. I mean, it sounded aggressive when he said it, but he could have been saying, "Giving you a cake."
That's what I was thinking. Yeah,
it's true.
But
the
he didn't
uncertainty-
say it like he was giving you a cake.
I mean, I wonder if it's possible for us to access each other's dreams.
That would be good, wouldn't it? I mean, that'd be absolutely surreal. My dreams are weird enough. If I was going in yours.
Apparently, that's the thing they're doing with the next iPhone.
What?
You shouldn't sleep with anything that resembles like any human form.
Other than
We had
this
in
human.
our old house we had like a cello case by the bed, and I'd always put like my coats on it and stuff.
and little hats.
And little hats and glasses.
and a
And
wig.
I'd wake up and who are you?
Who goes there? Cello.
Stay
Cello?
away from me. Cello, who's in there? I had this one weird like evening where I'd been to my grandparents' house for a week or so, and we'd just got home back to our own house and went to bed and everything, and I desperately needed a wee. In the middle of the night, it was pitch black. I was absolutely busting for a piss, so I got up, went to the side of the wall that I knew had the light switch on it. There was no light switch. So I kept sort of palming my way across the walls, trying to find a light switch, and everything had changed in my room. Everything was like in a different place. All the dimensions were different. I couldn't find the door. I was fucking desperate for a piss, like properly desperate. I could have just gone. Kept palming my way around, kind of going a little bit nuts, and then I think I accidentally fell onto the door, which was on the opposite side of where the door normally is. And it turns out I was still at my grandparents' house.
Reggae, 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 reggae sauce.
Hey, Luke, you're quite well known for your heartfelt lyrics, aren't you? And your...
Yeah, I am.
Well, I realise I never,
Big time,
like,
mate.
100% knew what they were, some of the lyrics, even though I've toured with you a few times.
That's good to know, mate.
Yeah, so I did a quick Google search.
Oh yeah.
All right.
You gonna read some out for us, Paul? Because
Yeah.
I'd like to hear them as well. Because I'm not
I'd
sure
just
what you're
like
singing about.
I'd like to go through them, and I'd like you to explain what you were shooting.
What they're
at.
hearing. Yeah, brilliant.
Okay.
Love this.
Okay, so I found some lyrics to a song called "Bottled Up Tight."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's done quite well for you. Successful, right? Okay, this is the first line, and I just want you to tell me what you were thinking when you wrote these. Okay, I maybe lose. I'm not a cannon.
Yeah.
What's that mean for you, Paul?
What's I maybe lose? Explain yourself.
Well, it's basically it's existential lyric, meaning my identity is lose. Yeah, it's like it's a bit like it's not just loser. I am actually the force that you feel like the actual. I am the definition of lose.
So when people say they're a loser, they're referencing your
Me.
lose.
They're referencing me.
Wow.
Yeah, right.
I thought maybe it meant that like there are 10 a penny of singer-songwriters, there are also a lot of toilets in the country.
Well,
I maybe
well,
lose.
it's double meaning. Double meaning. So
So you say here, I maybe lose, I'm not a canon, yeah? Right? But I can be quiet saying my name.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are the ways, where is the best? All right?
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
What website is this on? Just per chance.
I think it's Polish.
Correctlyrics.com.
So what was it again?
There are the ways, where is the best?
Well, I mean, it's obvious, isn't it? Really, it's just a pretty clumsy way. I've got to say, I'm ashamed of myself in some ways
Yeah.
of saying which way should I go. You know, in some ways I wish I'd phrased it slightly differently. I think if I was to write it again now,
You're like, which
how I
way should I
actually wrote
turn or something?
yeah, you know, which way. So many ways, which one to take, you know. But
Probably the best.
at that point, at that age, I went for there are the ways. Which is what was it? What was it?
There are the ways, where is the best?
Well, you obviously want the best way. You want to find where that way is. You know.
Well, you do end that verse saying, maybe everyone's to play.
Everyone's to play.
To play.
To play. Well,
Maybe everyone's to play. It doesn't even have a question
I think
mark.
that's just Luke saying
maybe
anyone
everyone's to
could
play.
be doing what I'm doing right now. Just pick up a
Maybe
pick up a
everyone's
guitar.
to play. I think when I wrote that, it was I was remembering like a football match where I think there were more players than would traditionally be on a pitch, and some of us were going, well, what about the rest of us? Do you think we be able to
Play.
you know join in? And then I think someone said maybe everyone's to play.
And you wrote it down immediately.
Wrote it down
And I thought,
instantly. That is going in a song.
That's great.
Maybe everyone's to play. Right.
Yeah.
And then,
Again, yeah.
okay, so second verse, my heart and my mind have been with me always. That's quite nice.
Very nice.
But not long enough to keeping in mind. All right?
Yeah, sloppy.
That's I think that was just a bit sloppy.
Yeah.
I don't think you meant that, did you? I will give you the benefit.
Might be
of
a
the doubt on
typo.
that one. Might be a typo.
Sloppy right.
Okay, here we go. Next line. I know that my mind is both getting bad days. So you've created a duality with your mind there. Both your mind is getting
I think
bad
he's talking
days.
about the two sides of his brain, you know, the creative
left and right side of the brain.
the one that thinks about cheese.
Yeah. But your heart wins every time.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you take that all together, it doesn't really make that much sense. Which I mean, it's only being highlighted to me now. I'm quite embarrassed.
Well, it's funny when you read back on your old works and just see what you're going through at the time, and it sounds a bit like you were going through a bit of a breakdown. So then, we got the chorus. I feel the fire. I see a flame set me alight.
Lovely.
Bring me desire
Lovely
bottled
imagery.
up tight.
Lovely imagery.
Yeah.
Like cage in the ocean.
Is that talking about
See,
Nick
these
Cage?
Yeah, I think I don't like Nick Cage, so I was thinking let's drown him.
And then dousing my son down on the sky.
Wait, what? Dousing my son.
Dousing my son down on the sky.
Okay.
Yeah?
You can't say these aren't original.
No.
That is true.
They're pretty out there, to be honest. You don't see many pop songs written about Nick Cage.
No.
Is it true that you wrote this after seeing, what's it called? National Adventure?
National Treasure.
Oh,
National Treasure.
Yeah, too. Yeah.
It was a good film. Right, Bring Me Your Motion. So that's like,
Please.
let's get some movement up in here.
Yeah.
Bring it to me.
Dance, basically, is what I'm saying.
Bottled
Dance.
up.
Lord of the Dance.
Bottled up tight. Bring me your motion, bottled up tight. Okay?
Lovely.
Right.
Bring me your motion. Right. I count when I can the people who walk by. That's pretty.
Yeah.
Imagine that part crossing with mine.
Yeah, weaker.
I just think you're so close with some of these.
Yeah.
It's just like I was having an off day, really, wasn't it? Like I'd just forgotten half of the words that I'd learnt.
But I think you hit on something really profound on the last lines for the verse here. It goes, and maybe it's true, a part of the bloodline. We walk like with pretty much by. We walk like with pretty much by. And you touch on something pretty profound. I'd like you to explain.
We walk like which?
With.
We walk like with.
Pretty much
You've gone for
by.
the alliteration there.
Pretty much. We walk like with. Well, I mean, what I'm saying is, and it's very simple, but it's one of these things where you say, where I've achieved the Holy Grail, which is expressing what everyone thinks, just in a way that no one's ever thought to phrase it. And I don't think anyone has ever said the phrase, I
walk like with any what?
Exactly. It's even hard to repeat. It's so unique.
We walk like with pretty much by.
Maybe it's like it's written down wrong, and it's actually we walk like with pretty much. Bye. Full stop in between.
Yeah, I know, you're right. I don't know if that
Yeah.
makes it any better.
We walk like with pretty much by.
That sounds awesome. Yeah. Can you play Sweet Child of Mine? It definitely makes sort of the time that you take to write lyrics feel really worthwhile.
What when
Yeah,
people
laboured
mess
when
them up?
When fans, they're obviously fans because they've taken the time to write that, go, oh, I'm going to input that song because I like that song. I love the lyrics. I walk by with pretty much, what the fuck are you talking about?
Just to be clear to anyone listening, those weren't the actual lyrics. They were just silly, misinterpreted lyrics. But Luke's actually really good at writing lyrics. So,
What? Hey? Whatever. Well, maybe we should. I mean, is this gone on long enough?
Pretty good stuff today, I think.
yeah, it's finding its feet a bit.
Yeah, I don't know anymore. We need a sort of roundup jingle at the end.
Yeah. Paul.
I'd like to do one that we're all on, that we're all in, like
Yeah.
a bit like the last song from Greece.
Which is the last song from Greece?
We go together like a bib-dab dib-dab shibbity boop de whoop.
Oh yeah.
Cool. Should we stop recording?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm stopping.
Pod off!